Ladies and gentlemen, bout number 1 is brought to you by Don's Barbershop, located on 23rd Street next to Aldi's. Get faded at Don's Barbershop. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, Gage Young. And his opponent standing across the cage, fighting out of the red corner, Larry Hill. Your referee is Mike England.
Hey, guys. Center of the ring. All right, fellas, gave you instructions dressing room. Any questions? Any questions? Touch them up right there. God bless you.
Let's go.
Touch of gloves, and they will be off here. Mike England, veteran MMA referee, gets us kicked off.
Debut. You know, these guys want to go after it. Starting out with some low kicks, and he returns.
Slip there by Gage Young.
And this is what Larry Hill was working on.
But he gets the fight to the ground. Ends up on top, right into half guard. And Gage Young's in a good position here too, because he has Larry Hill head up against the cage, doesn't give him much space to get up. Looking to take the back now. He's got the over-under, he wants to get a hook in here.
He wants to try to get a hook, try to take the back.
You know, already though, you can tell that these guys have skills. They're not fresh to fighting. They might be fresh to stepping in the cage, but both these guys have definitely trained before and are looking for good technique in here, which is always great to see your first fight of the night.
You know, this is what Larry Hill was working on during the warm-ups. I think he expected to get taken down, and he looks really calm and composed, you know.
Yeah, right now he's just looking to control the posture. He's doing the right things, not giving Gage the space to posture up and land those big, heavy bombs.
You know, those shots to the body that Gage is landing, you know, they're more annoying than anything, but they add up over time.
Absolutely. Especially in your first fight when your adrenaline's going, everything's 100% here by round 2. If they make it there, those little body shots start to add up and pay dividends later.
And Larry seems content, just staying on. Looks like he'll be looking for a stand-up. And Gage has to be careful because he could exhaust himself.
Yeah, there hasn't been any warnings or anything from Mike England yet, but it does appear that that's what he's looking for. He's just controlling the posture, just has the overhook and controlling the head right now. He's not really looking to swing his hips off to one side or the other to look for a submission. He's just kind of content where he's at, and Gage is landing small strikes that's, you know, keeping Mike England, letting him stay there. Grapevine in the legs is Larry Hill. Which again, is just breaking down the posture of Gage, not letting him get those big strikes. And we haven't seen any big shots land here. It wouldn't surprise me if Mike England steps in, but there's only 20 seconds left in the round.
And Gage is really looking to get out of his hold. You know, he's not really putting a lot of pressure on top of Larry. So Larry's doing, he's holding on.
There he goes. He's doing the right thing now, cross-facing, trying to push the face away so he can create that space, but as soon as they get back to their feet, the bell rings. I think Larry Hill's just going to have to, you know, really turn it around here in round 2. He had they both looked like they were starting to get comfortable on the feet, but then after Gage got in on the legs and got the takedown, he really didn't have much offense on the ground. It was all defensive, trying to control the posture. If he wants to, you know, take round 2, if they go to the ground, he's going to need to create space, get back to his feet, or be more offensive on the ground. But that round, I think, definitely goes to Gage.
It definitely goes to Gage. And if I was Gage, you see the game plan. You see he has, at least at the moment, he's not going for any submissions. I'm not sure what his jiu-jitsu background is, but I'd be very curious to see if he'll be content this second round, just holding on to Gage.
Yeah, I think if he does that again, if he just stays defensive on the ground, he's gonna give up another round. He's gonna have to put more offense forward here to really swing the fight back in his favor. But we're gonna start out on the feet, and both these guys showed they had some skills there, so let's see how it goes.
Starts off with a nice overhand, but Gage returns. A solid 1-2.
Good combinations here by Gage.
Larry has to be careful. A nice takedown by Larry.
Larry
Gage
ended up on
right
top
back
for a
up.
second, but Gage reverses it. This time he's in side control, though. It's going to be a lot harder if Gage passes to mount or stays in side control. It's going to be a lot harder to, you know, maintain that just control for Larry Hill. He's going to have to escape here. He's got
the full mount.
He's got to move.
Grapevine's legs. And we're back where we started.
Yet this time Gage is in mount, though. He's not stuck in guard. He should be able to posture up a little bit easier, push that face down, and start to land those big strikes.
Larry needs to try to get to the hip, try to escape.
Exactly. Whenever he's stuck back on his, you know, flat on his back here, he really doesn't have any movement. He doesn't have an option to escape, and Gage is just is content here to tee off with small strikes until the big ones open up.
What does Larry need to do here? Should he flatten out, try to get one leg released from the grapevine, or?
Yeah, absolutely. So he needs to straighten one leg out, bring the other one over top of the ankle, so he can shrimp back to a half guard. But right now, Gage is just too strong. Yeah. He gives up his back here. He can use this to stand up, though. He needs to just stand up and get out of this groundwork.
Nice judo throw from Gage.
Beautiful hip toss by Gage. Ends up back in side control, and this is not good for Larry Hill here.
This might be the beginning of the end.
Yeah, he's got the crucifix. Larry Hill's arms are trapped there. Looks like he was able to work one back out.
Goes right back into the crucifix.
Looking for an Americana, maybe. Content just to tee off with small strikes here. Side control.
Trying to get that mount.
Good pass to mount there by Gage. Finally establishes his position again.
And Gage is covering that mouth, making it hard to breathe. Rain down punches now.
Larry Hill needs to just stand up to his feet here, get out of this groundwork, create that space, and get back to the strikes.
Kudos for Larry Hill sticking in there.
Absolutely. Both these guys definitely have talent and have skills everywhere. I'd just like to see Larry Hill be a little more offensive on the ground and be less content in the bad positions.
Nice.
There he goes. Now he's on the feet.
Now he's swinging back.
This is where he wants to be now. It's like maybe
keep that mouthpiece in.
Yeah, Larry Hill's bleeding strong from the nose here. You can see him breathing out of his mouth. I don't know if the nose is broken.
Ooh, but
he
Gage
lands
is
a
tired.
big right hand. Looked for a guillotine there at the end, but that'll bring us to round 3. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't know if Larry Hill's nose is broken, but he's breathing out of his mouth very heavy, and there's lots of blood coming down. Could be a broken nose there. That's definitely, I mean, as we get into this third round, that's going to really drain the cardio, and that's not a fun thing to have in a fight.
Well, that is 2 solid rounds that Larry has had to keep in there, stay mentally strong. You know, you got to say hats off to him, but good job on Gage, too, because Gage is putting that pressure on him, and it's going to be a big third round. But if Larry lands that overhand right, might be a different story we might be telling by the end of the fight.
For sure, yeah. He's putting everything into that overhand right. We saw him land it there right at the end. But Gage is so good at closing that distance. You know, once you get inside, he's getting to the takedown, and he's getting into the dominant positions. Larry Hill needs to avoid the clinch and avoid the takedowns at all costs here to start out the third round. He needs to keep this fight on the feet and try to land big, heavy strikes.
Big third round. Way to start off the fight card.
Great fight for 2 amateurs making their debut here. Big overhand lands, but Gage once again able to secure the clinch. He's going to look for a trip.
He went for his own takedown, but got stuffed.
Yeah, and Larry Hill at this point has to just be exhausted. Anytime you're defending on bottom like that, just trying to control the posture and eating those small strikes like we were talking about in the first round, those strikes add up. And
I mean, Gage smells the finish, you know.
Going back to work on the body now.
Nice. If Larry can put his feet on his hips and try to shrimp out.
Exactly. He needs to create that space and try to get back to his feet. At this point, I haven't seen much offense from him in the guard, so I would like to see him throw up some arm bars, throw up some triangles, go for it. If it doesn't work, scramble back to your feet. Right now, Gage is just too strong on top. and every time he gets this side control or mount position, there's just Larry just seems stuck right here.
He almost rolled him. You know, this is just bread and butter wrestling. Gage is dominating him and exposing a weakness in Larry Hill's game, which is okay at this point because, you know, debut, amateur, this is a learning experience for both men.
Absolutely, and being their debut, they should be very, very proud of their performances on both ends. Like, a lot of times you see amateurs make their debut and it's just wild, chaotic strikes, and they get to the ground, they have no idea what they're doing. These guys are doing the right things. He's passing from half guard to mount to side control. On bottom, he's controlling the posture. There you have it, though. Gage gets the finish. Late in the fight, Larry Hill just had 8 too many strikes there, and Gage finally landed a big one. Mike England says it's enough.
You know, these debut fighters, these amateur fighters, you know, you don't want to see them take too much damage because you want them to have a long career. But a war like this is a great experience, and I expect both men to come out 10 times better than they were than his first fight.
For sure. That, as an amateur, that's the main thing about these guys is just getting experience so they can, I think all of them have aspirations to be pros one day. And, you know, the amateur level, as soon as you turn pro, all those amateur fights disappear. It's all, you're 0-0 again. So
right.
All this is about just getting experience and gaining experience in the cage, and both these guys gain lots of experience here tonight. Larry Hill just needs to make some small adjustments so he can keep the fight on the feet and keep that distance, and Gage did some things very, very well. Got the takedown, closed the distance, ended up on top. Great work by Gage, and way to secure the finish there late in the fight. Continue to have that cardio and conditioning to finally put Larry away there at the end.
Nice in the end. Good display of showmanship of camaraderie.
Yeah, and that's something that I know it looked like he just ate 1 or 2 big strikes there at the end that made Mike England stop him, but he'll tell you that back in the back that as an amateur, at an amateur level, he'll stop it a little bit sooner so that you can continue to get to your pro career. The pros will let go a little bit longer, but the amateurs will stop a little sooner. Let's send it up to Stephen St. John.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout comes to an end at 1 minute and 50 seconds of round number 3. Your winner by TKO out of the blue corner, Gage Young.